like to extend a welcome to the Academy, to its newly refurbished premises. This is the first time for myself I've had the opportunity to speak here. It's been a great honour to serve the British Academy as the chair of its Latin American and Caribbean panel when it was inaugurated in 2005 under what was then called the International Policy Committee. What we've been doing as part of our activities is advising the British Academy on its strategy with respect to the region. We've also have a large portfolio of activities which have included providing an overview of research and collaboration in the region, fostering bilateral links, running grant programs, producing reports on matters which relate to research, and working closely with learning societies concerned in the region. So quite a lot of activities, and I just want to, all of the area panels are to different extents involved in these, but I just want to flesh out a little bit some of the things that we've been doing in the Latin American Caribbean panel. In 2006, we launched an important funding scheme called the Latin American Caribbean Programme, LINK Programme, which aims to encourage interaction between scholars from the UK and Latin America and the Caribbean, basically focused on seminars which were held either side of the Atlantic. We have been absolutely overwhelmed by the popularity of these schemes, and for this year we received no less than 93 applications. Unfortunately, we can fund only a very small proportion of those. This highly successful scheme is to be transformed shortly into the International Partnerships and Mobility Scheme. The basic object of this scheme is similar, basically to initiate the development of what we hope and anticipate will be long-term relationships between scholars in the UK and overseas, and in our case particularly with Latin America. It will actually be a more flexible scheme than the one that we've operated before, offering opportunities for individual scholars to travel between the UK and Latin America, as well as providing support for seminars and workshops. So we still have the fine details to work out for this scheme, but it will be a new one that will be launched next year, and we do hope that you will take advantage of what it has to offer. Another activity has been basically as a basis for developing a strategy for promoting links with Latin America. The panel commissioned a report into the strength of Latin American and Caribbean studies in the UK, indicating the strengths that it possesses, but also the challenges that it faces. This has been largely completed, and we are attempting to launch this in the autumn. Among other activities are sponsoring or part-sponsoring lectures and events at the British Academy with other bodies. For example, we held a symposium on food history at the British Museum in connection with the Montezuma exhibition. We also worked with the Colombian Embassy in hosting a lecture by the award-winning historian of science, Newson FBA, who spoke on the 18th century botanical expeditions to the New World. For future events, so watch out for these on our website. They're likely to get filled up very quickly. In the autumn, we have an event to celebrate the life and work of the Argentine author Tomás Eloy Martínez, which is being jointly organised with the Argentine Embassy. This will be taking place in November. And then next year, we are very excited to be welcoming the Nobel laureate Maria Vargas Llosa to the Academy for a conversation event, which will be held probably in June next year. So you'll have to be very quick to get a seat in that. Other ways in which the Academy has tried to develop links with scholars overseas is through bilateral agreements with sister institutions overseas. We have signed memoranda of understanding with CAPES, the Brazilian funding agency, with the Mexican Academy of Sciences, with the Consejo de Ciencias Sociales in Cuba, and of course with Conciencias. Since the Latin American Caribbean panel was established, Colombia, along with Brazil and Mexico, have been one of our priorities because of, in the case of Colombia, very high quality of Colombian scholars. I'm saying others are high quality too, but also mutual interest, which there are between scholars in the UK and Colombia, particularly in the areas of history, politics, literature and culture. So in April 2010, we were fortunate to be able to sign a memorandum of understanding with Conciencias. And for this, we were pleased to welcome the director of Conciencias, Don Francisco Miranda, whose participation was actually threatened at the last minute by the travel chaos that was caused by the volcanic eruption in Iceland, and we wondered whether in fact it was. On this occasion, we also worked with the Colombian Embassy to hold a symposium to commemorate the bicentennial of Colombian independence, focusing on the role of Great Britain in those movements. And I was delighted to see this book, which has been published by the Colombian Embassy, available tonight. This is the first I've seen it. If you haven't picked it up, please do so. I attended the lectures, they were excellent, and I do recommend this for you to read. So you can see connections between the British Academy and Colombia have been growing, and I think this is very much reflected in the very generous gift of the sculpture of Simón Bolívar by the Embassy, by the renowned Peruvian sculptor Miguel Bacarossi. Particularly grateful to His Excellency Mr. Rodriguez for his enthusiasm in developing these with in recent years, and for this very generous gift. I would also like to thank the Cultural Attaché Oliver Susano for energy and continuing support, who I think has worked, I don't know, under 3 ambassadors, but support linked with the Academy has continued right through. So we do owe Oliver a lot where we are at the moment. As one of the most important figures in Latin America, this statue of Bolívar, I think, will symbolise and support the centrality of Latin America in the Academy's international strategy. So I'd now like to introduce world-renowned historian of Latin America, Professor David Brading, to give his reflections on Bolívar. Professor Brading is a fellow of the British Academy and also recipient of the Order of the Aztec Eagle, which is the highest decoration for a foreign citizen that is bestowed by the Mexican government. And this was presented to him by the President of Mexico, Vicente Fox, in 2002. So it's with great pleasure that I invite David to give his reflections on Simón Bolívar.